AI is going to take my job. It's a sentiment that I'm hearing and reading a lot lately. And there might be a little bit of truth in that. AI is certainly disruptive, it's certainly capable of taking over a lot of the mundane tasks in our day to day, applying some of the logical reasoning that we as humans have traditionally been responsible for. And so that's a little bit scary and unnerving, and some of us are concerned. There's an existential threat there. What's going to happen to my job, to my role, when the bots take over? Now, all the way on the other side of the spectrum, you have yes, but look at these bots. Look at what they're really doing. Take a look at the headlines where somebody Googled how many rocks should I eat, and Google Gemini actually responded with a number that was not zero. How do I get cheese to stick to pizza? And the response is, we'll put glue under the cheese. These are not good answers. These are not demonstrations of any kind of capability of any intelligence that's going to take over anytime soon. But I think it's important to focus on the middle ground here. There's the extreme of AI is going to replace everyone and everything, and no, it can't. It can't do anything. It's not going to replace anybody. The reality is somewhere in between, right? And so I think what we ought to do is take a large step back and focus on the fact that these AI tools are exactly that. They're tools for us to use in order to make our lives easier, in order to make our jobs and careers more efficient and impactful. And what that means is we can delegate a lot of our tasks over to the bots, and we can zoom out. We can focus on more human pursuits. We can focus on solving domain problems, systems thinking, taking a much broader view of problem solving than what we've been able to do in the past, because we can get out of the trenches of solving problems that have traditionally been our domain that we can now hand off. So I think there's a lot of capability there mixed in with that disruption. And the successful path forward is going to be sorting all of that out and figuring out what's what. And I think the most important skill in the workplace today and in the foreseeable future is AI literacy. And that's something that I feel like maybe we're not quite as focused on as we should be. It's great to become the ultimate prompt engineer and to be able to get Chat GPT 4.0 to do your bidding, and yeah, look what I can make the robot do. I can make it dance for me. That's good and valuable on its own. But what happens next? What happens when ChatGPT 5 is released? What about these other models over here? What about the tasks that maybe that one is not well suited for? What do we do there? Right? So the answer is AI literacy. The answer is understanding the current state of play. What's the landscape? What are the tools that are available to us today? And what do they do really well? What do they do really poorly? Where are the gaps? What are some of the things that these existing systems and tools can't do for us? And how do we patch those gaps? And that might mean marrying together a couple of distinct components into one system. It might mean bringing yourself as a human into the mix, human in the loop, to help orchestrate and to provide that higher level strategy. Right? So there's a lot of different angles on this, but the important takeaway here is that concept of AI literacy, because that's going to be the differentiating factor. And that's going to be the answer to the question, will AI replace me? Will it take my job? The answer to that question is going to be, do you understand the tool set or not? Because somebody who does understand the landscape and is able to apply that critical thinking to which tools are right for the job, which aren't, and how to patch over the gaps, those are going to be the valued skills in the workplace. Whereas those of us who just kind of don't get it and are focused on doing things the old way, might be targets for replacement. That's the reality. So take a little time to experiment, go play. Don't just focus on one model. If you're a ChatGPT user, that's terrific. But you should also be checking out Microsoft Copilot. You should also be checking out Gemini. Go, go take a look at Poe. Go look at Claude. Try a lot of different tools to find out where the strengths and weaknesses are, and develop a broader portfolio of what you can bring to bear in the workplace or in your daily life. That's where the value is really going to be. And it's really fun to dunk on these models when they have the high profile failures. Like, I love nothing more than to laugh at Google when the model does tell us to put glue on pizza. It's ridiculous. And it's kind of reassuring because it helps us feel a sense of control that, yes, there's still value in being a human and having common sense, having a lifetime of experience that tells us things like don't eat rocks. That's valuable. It's important. It makes us feel good. We are valuable in that regard. So remember that. But also take some time to understand what the robots can do. And think of them as coworkers. Think of them as collaborators. Think of them as the types of agents that you can hand off unwanted tasks to. Give the boring stuff over to AI and focus on the fun stuff for yourself. That's the direction that we're headed in. That's what the future looks like. Drop a comment. Let me know how it's going for you. What are you seeing in the marketplace at large? How are careers changing? How are job roles changing? How are these AI bots and agents coming into play? Or are they? Are we there yet? Maybe we're not, right? Tons to discuss. Like I said, drop a comment. Let me know what you're seeing. I would love to start a conversation. With that, thanks very much.